Hello, we're ending this live. I was just getting back into Warframe, and Temple's really good. So, um, he's a crit demon and is really good with paired with fire weapons due to Ripper's Wail just giving you a gigantic boost. Big AoE, basically old world on fire, but without the through walls thing. Overdrive amps up your critical damage to absurdly high degrees. And combining this with a high damage weapon with high crit rate, you pretty much can guarantee orange and red crits. And it's as simple as that. His exalted weapon's even pretty good. You can throw some like status effects on this and it's really good. Despite the fact that I have Skyfire here, my really good hound. If I go do this, always hit the metronome because it's such a good part of his kit. Like it's not a lot of damage because this is steel path enemies, but like the procs themselves are really strong. You can even see it like 50k, 41k, and that's not including the fact that if you aim down and press any of your ability buttons, you'll shoot a wave of that element. Though it's not really that useful, especially because you have to aim in, and I have custom keybinds, so I don't really use it. But if you use overdrive, with a simple build, you can red crit for 90,000. It's basically a replacement Ignis Wraith, if anybody even still uses that build for this. Super simple. I'm even missing a mod because I haven't gone and reformatted this. Aptitude, Chamber, obviously, because these are now enabled. Primary, Merciless, because it's an Ignis Wraith. Malignant, Cryo, Infected for a ton of viral proc, Hammer Shot, and critical delay. We don't need to boop. We don't need to bump the heat because Ripper's Wail will already be giving us heat procs. Blind Rage, Stretch, Augur Secrets, Prime Continuity, Flow, Intensify, Natural Talent because some of his cast times are a little bit long. This is just quality of life stuff. Archon Vitality because it doubles the heat procs on it and heat stacks for a lot. Multi Augmented, just a given. Like even with this high base strength, being able to boost the exalted weapon a little bit further with damage is really good. And then Arcane Energize just for quality life stuff. You can switch this out for like duration if you're really worried about that. Efficiency is a drop stat because if you metronome, like if you hit the metronome, you get 50% ability efficiency, which pretty much equalizes this. Like you're only at a 5% deficit. Who cares? Range is not that important of a stat because his range is abnormally high. Even at 145, this is 36 meters in a 20 meter radius because that doesn't bump up with range. If I'm correct, it does with the pillar count though. Hold on, let's test this real quick so I'm not wrong. No, pillars go up probably with just strength. This is 29 meters, which you get the crit chance bonus, and if you overdrive, it doubles it to 126. Like that's really good, especially because by the time you finish this, it's such a quick cast with natural talent that everybody's super critical prone. Ripper's Wail is okay. The main reason you're going to be using it is for the heat bonus, but it does also heal, and it has a cap of 750, which is a hard cap. That doesn't increase. The max duration is 60, which doesn't increase. Unlike Chroma, where the main thing is like using the extra like Vex armor and killing enemies to retrieve your cooldown, this allows you to use other abilities, but I would just recommend recasting it when you get like 10-15 seconds. Don't forget, this also gives you immunity if you hit the backbeat. So you get 4 seconds of immunity, or it's like 4 or 5 seconds of immunity for complete free, and it starts to heal you if you actually took any damage, which 127% HP per second, you're not gonna die if you have 5 seconds of invulnerability. And Exalted Solo is just a pretty good like exalted weapon. They did the exalted weapon changes, and it definitely, you can feel it on this weapon specifically. Although like Gara's Lash, Korra's Whipclaw, like you can tell there too. This one specifically, you can tell with how highly effective it is, especially when you just throw like viral on there. Obviously, you could change some of this out. I haven't made like alternate builds because I haven't finished like building it or anything like that. I've been particularly lazy. So you could do like heat magnetic, especially with how easy any of these are, because when they started adding like magnetic capacity, radiated reload, you could technically drop like malignant force for magnetic capacity or radiated reload, which would give you 4 procs if you get both of these on there, which is super, super good. And it's super efficient because of how high the base critical chance and status chance are, that even just like hammer shot critical delay, obviously malignant force also has a hand in here, but like you can easily push this further. And on kill, you get the direct damage increase and the multi-shot, which allows you to stack up even faster. Temple's actually a really good frame. The only real gripe I have about him is it definitely feels like a going back on the issues that Ember had, and just being like, yeah, like we can give Temple parts of her kit because it's been long enough. Like his one primarily feels like that, but I honestly, it's just a gripe I have about the way older frames get treated. Although a lot of them nowadays are super good. In this stream, since I'm doing this live, we just ran into a Titania that had like 15,000 over health and it somehow would just instantly kill everything the second she touched it. But that's also because Titania just got a massive buff. And Temple, David Bowie, is super good and worth picking up, whether it's through doing the concert missions or just outright buying him. I mean, he's not that bad of a pickup, especially if you don't really know how to build. He gets guaranteed value anyway because his kit sustains itself. If there's one thing I would change, probably his Exalted off, but even then his Exalted is free ammo because it goes off of the metronome bar that you can see. If it would diminish, it doesn't diminish very fast. So basically you just have an infinite flamethrower that gets extremely high critical chance and can get boosted with the critical chance of overdrive, not including the fact that Ripper's Wail will give you additional fire procs. So overall, he's a pretty rounded character and probably can be used in a lot of scenarios. The only thing he lacks is CC, but honestly, if you hit enemies with flame and they start to panic because of like the flame, the way that works, or even, again, I use a really strong Hound that has some pretty good CC, you'll be set. This is unbelievably a strong frame. I wouldn't say he's S tier, like he's not like Mesa or Protea good at like efficiently killing things, but you can definitely feel when you hit overdrive and you prop a red crit. Like, so I would say pretty decently good, a good pickup frame, because just the amount of damage you can deal. And again, this is Steel Path. In regular game, enemies aren't going to survive that long. I mean, you could probably just press your 1 and they'll all just immediately explode. So yeah, he gets my seal of approval. I can't wait for the new frame to come out. I'll try and talk about her too if I ever have a chance. Thank you.